Have you ever looked into someone's eyes and felt deep in your gut that they weren't who they claimed to be? That's exactly what happened the day Martin walked into Aunt Emily's living room. He wasn't just a distant relative, as he claimed. He was here for something hidden, something dangerous, and none of us saw it coming. Martin arrived at exactly 4 o'clock, his polished manners and quiet demeanor masking a sharpness that unsettled me. He was thin, pale, and carried an old leather satchel that he clutched a little too tightly. Aunt Emily greeted him warmly, as she always did.
Come in, Martin. Long trip? You must be tired. Let me pour you some tea.
Thank you, Aunt Emily. That would be lovely.
She set a plate of scones on the table and poured him a cup of tea, but Martin barely touched them. Instead, his eyes scanned the room, lingering on the furniture and decorations like he was memorizing each detail. His gaze locked on the porcelain vase on the shelf.
That vase, do you know how old it is?
Oh, that old thing? My father brought it home years ago. Why do you ask?
No reason, it's just interesting craftsmanship.
I watched him carefully. His smile seemed polite, but there was something off about the way his fingers tapped the table, restless and deliberate.
The rug on the wall, is it handmade? A special family piece, perhaps?
Yes, it's handmade. My father bought it a long time ago. I suppose it's special, but nothing extraordinary.
And the clock on the mantel? Original mechanism, I assume?
Martin, you seem very interested in antiques. Is that a hobby of yours?
You could say that. I've always been fascinated by history, especially family history.
Well, Martin, Claire didn't mention much about you. What brings you here, really?
Oh, just reconnecting with extended family. I recently came across some old documents about your father's business. Fascinating stuff, really.
My father was a simple man. He worked hard and left behind memories, not treasures.
Of course, but you know how stories grow over time. Sometimes there's a grain of truth to them.
The tension in the room was suffocating. I excused myself under the pretense of fetching more tea and slipped into the kitchen. My hands trembled as I quickly texted my brother James. Come here now, something's wrong with this guy. When I returned, Martin was holding the porcelain vase, turning it over in his hands.
Careful with that.
Of course, it's just beautiful craftsmanship, hard to resist.
By the time he left, Aunt Emily's warm demeanor had vanished. She sat down heavily at the kitchen table, her hands shaking slightly as she clutched her teacup.
That man wasn't here for tea. He's looking for something.
What could he be looking for?
Years ago, my father's business partner accused him of hiding something valuable. Jewels, maybe coins. No one ever found anything but Martin. I think he's connected to that man.
The next day, we found a small scratch on the base of the vase, as if someone had tried to pry it open. Aunt Emily locked it away, along with anything else that seemed remotely valuable. But a week later, a letter arrived, an official-looking document claiming Martin's family had a legal right to her father's estate. As I sat with Aunt Emily that evening, the weight of the day settled over me. I couldn't shake the pit in my stomach. I always thought family, no matter how distant, could be trusted. That people with kind smiles meant no harm. But Martin taught me otherwise.
Not everyone who walks through your door has good intentions. Some come with empty smiles and hidden agendas.
Looking back now, I wonder if Martin found what he was searching for that day. If not in the vase, Perhaps he found something far more valuable, a weakness he could exploit.